Hollywood icon who has starred in some of the biggest blockbuster films for 5 decades.
Such classics as Chinatown and Network. And now the Academy Award-winning actress is starring in a new movie. It is called The Case for Christ.
She remains one of the most iconic stars in Hollywood, known for her striking performances in films like Bonnie and Clyde and Network. But when she guest starred on an episode of Columbo in the early 1990s, fans witnessed a different kind of magic. Now, decades later, Dunaway is shedding new light on the experience of working with Peter Falk. Why does she describe their connection as unusual? From behind-the-scenes stories to little-known creative details, Dunaway reveals the surprising reality of working alongside one of television's most beloved stars. When Faye Dunaway stepped into the world of Columbo, it wasn't just another job. The episode It's All in the Game aired in 1993 and was a remarkably unique entry in the detective series. Not only was it one of the few episodes to focus on Columbo's potentially vulnerable side, but it was also co-written by Peter Falk himself. This made the project deeply personal for Falk, and it set the tone for a challenging but memorable collaboration between the two iconic actors. Dunaway, coming from a background of serious, award-winning cinema, was known for her meticulous approach to her roles, and Falk, a veteran of Columbo for decades, was equally rigorous about the direction of the episode. This meeting of two dedicated, strong-minded performers led to moments of creative tension on set. According to Dunaway in an interview with the Buffalo News in 1993, Peter was intense and hands-on. This wasn't just a television episode to him. He had an idea of who Columbo was, what he should do, and how every word needed to feel authentic. Faye Dunaway's portrayal of Lisa Martin might not have been a typical Columbo villain, but the blend of her carefully crafted performance and Falk's unwavering vision ultimately created one of the most memorable episodes of the series. Falk's dedication to crafting something unique, even after decades in the role, ensured that It's All in the Game stood apart, for better or worse. On the set of Columbo, the collaboration between Peter Falk and Faye Dunaway proved to be more layered and challenging than most people would expect. While the script itself was a product of Falk's vision, Dunaway brought her own ideas to the table, creating a dynamic that some on the crew described as intense but productive. Dunaway was known for her exacting standards, and she didn't shy away from questioning or pushing back on decisions that didn't align with her interpretation of the character. In an interview with the Los Angeles Times in 1993, Peter Falk described working with Dunaway as fascinating but challenging, adding, "She has a way of inhabiting her character that's incredible to watch, but it requires space to unfold. That was something I had to respect." Falk's approach to Columbo revolved around precision and timing, elements he felt were crucial to maintaining the show's unique tone. This occasionally clashed with Dunaway's more exploratory method of building her performance. The biggest hurdle came in finding the right balance in their scenes together. The nature of the episode required a delicate interplay between the detective and the suspect, suggesting subtle flirtation without compromising the integrity of Columbo's character. This meant shooting their key moments multiple times and refining them until both actors were satisfied. In the book, The Columbo File, a casebook, by Mark Dawidziak, there's an intriguing incident from the filming that illustrates the complexities of the collaboration between Peter Falk and Faye Dunaway. Falk made significant revisions to a key scene just hours before shooting, surprising Dunaway with his last-minute changes. Although she was initially taken aback, she ultimately recognized the validity of Falk's instincts. However, she also expressed her concern about how such sudden adjustments could impact her preparation. Despite these occasional tensions, the result was a performance that reflected the creative push and pull of two strong personalities. Dunaway herself would later reflect on the experience in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in 1994, saying, "Peter's instincts were sharp, and he knew how to mold the episode into something unique. It wasn't easy, but I think the tension worked for the story." What stood out most to those who witnessed their collaboration wasn't the disagreements, but the way both actors pushed each other to deliver their best work, ultimately creating an episode of Columbo that still sparks discussion to this day. While the collaboration between Faye Dunaway and Peter Falk may have been complex on set, their connection didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. In later interviews, Dunaway explained that her working relationship with Falk was, in her words, unexpectedly layered. Their dynamic, shaped by creative tension and mutual respect, evolved after the production wrapped up. Though they weren't close friends by Hollywood standards, they kept in touch over the years. Falk's dedication to his craft left a lasting impression on Dunaway, even if their methods didn't always align. She mentioned in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in 1994 that Peter was someone who didn't just play Columbo, he was Columbo in a way. That same perseverance and insistence you saw on screen was very much who he was off-screen. One element that Dunaway found particularly striking was Falk's unpredictability, not only as an actor, but as a person. She described him as someone who, while deeply committed to his craft, could also be surprisingly whimsical at times. He'd suddenly crack a joke or share a quirky observation in the middle of a serious discussion, and it would throw you off. In a good way, she recalled to the Los Angeles Times in 1993. Their shared time on set may not have forged a lifelong friendship, but it created a bond rooted in shared creative struggle. Dunaway once reflected during an event appearance in 2010 that working with Falk was a reminder that good work often comes from discomfort. It wasn't about liking each other all the time, it was about challenging each other to be better. Their relationship remained somewhat enigmatic, much like their shared episode. Dunaway respected Falk's unwavering vision for his character, while Falk admired Dunaway's commitment to exploring new dimensions in her role. It wasn't a traditional Hollywood connection, but it was one that left an impact on both of them. The 1993 Columbo episode, It's All in the Game, stood out not only for its unique plot, but also for how it redefined Columbo's on-screen persona. For the first time, viewers saw the famously unshakable detective in a scenario where emotional vulnerability played a key role. This dynamic, paired with Dunaway's portrayal of the cunning Lisa Martin, created an episode that still divides fans and critics decades later. The episode was met with mixed reviews upon release. Many praised the risk of showing a more personal side to Columbo, while others felt it steered too far from the hard-boiled detective formula that viewers had come to expect. Reflecting on the reception, Dunaway noted during an appearance on The Today Show in 1994, "I think some people didn't know what to make of it. It wasn't typical for Columbo to let his guard down like that, but that's exactly what made it interesting to me." For Falk, the episode's deviation from the norm was intentional. His decision to co-write the script stemmed from a desire to explore nuances of Columbo's character that had not been fully developed in previous episodes. In his memoir, Just One More Thing, Falk wrote, "I wanted to show that Columbo wasn't a machine. He was human. Even if it's just a flicker of emotion, that's enough to make him more real." The risk paid off for some, but it also sparked discussion among loyal fans who were unsure whether this softer side fit the character. Critics were divided, but the episode earned an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series, recognizing Falk's continued strength in portraying the detective. As for Dunaway, the role allowed her to showcase her ability to bring complexity to characters who operate in morally ambiguous spaces, a skill she mastered in films like Chinatown. Although she wasn't nominated for her performance, her presence in the episode elevated its complexity. In the years since it aired, It's All in the Game remains one of the most talked-about episodes of Columbo. Whether fans loved or disliked its departure from tradition, it's undeniable that Falk and Dunaway brought something unique to the table, offering a glimpse into the creative risks they were both willing to take in pursuit of their craft.